Hello viewers, you're watching my YouTube channel and I'm your facilitator Dr. Seema Sharma. I'm sitting on this huge heap of gravel. They are the precursors of soil. Have a closer look at the gravel. They are of different colors and shades because they are from different types of rock. Behind me you can see heaps of soil of different particle size. Like this one, it's freely flowing. This is sand. Now I'm in an agricultural field. Look at this soil. What kind of soil is it? It's sticky and very smooth to touch. See? It's clay soil. You're going to learn about all this in this video. Isn't it interesting? So join me. Let's learn biology. Welcome back viewers. We are on chapter number 9, soil. Opening remark of this video was just a glimpse of the content of this video, but there is so much more to explore. Join me and watch this video till the end. So viewers, we are on chapter number 9, soil. This is the journal layout of this chapter. It is basically divisible into 5 parts. I have already uploaded one video of this chapter and in that I have covered first segment which was about soil and its importance and second segment which was about composition of soil. So if you want to learn about these two segments in detail, its video is also available on my BioHub. You can watch that. In today's video, I'm going to cover fifth segment of this chapter which is about types of soil. Yes students, types of soil. Soil की भी टाइप होते हैं, उसके डिफरेंट शेड्स होते हैं, उसके जो पार्टिकल्स हैं उनके साइज का वेरिएशन होता है, उनका और भी बहुत सारी प्रॉपर्टीज हैं जिनके बेसिस के we can divide soils into different types and subtypes, and that is what we are going to learn in this video. Are you ready viewers? Okay, types of soil. Broadly, soil can be divided into 3 types and these are sand, silt and clay. So now question is, how is the classification of soil done? Soil gets classified into sand, silt and clay on the basis of color and on the basis of texture. So these are two important features on the basis of which we can classify soils into these 3 subtypes. Let's start from the rock, which is the mother of all type of soil. So rocks have different colors due to the mineral present in them. We have learnt about this in our previous video. They can be light brown, greenish, blackish. Type of mineral present in those rocks, it gives color to the soil. Now when there is formation of soil, there is breaking of huge rocks into smaller particles. So here also, some type of rocks, they break into small particles, whereas other breaks into larger particles to become soil. See, some rocks, they break into very fine particles, whereas other, they break into larger particles. So this variation in the size of the particle, it gives texture to the soil. So now you know that classification of soil is broadly done on the basis of color of soil and texture. So now let's study a little more about these types of soil. Types of soil. First type of soil, clay. Clay has the smallest size of particles and it is less than 0.002 millimeter in diameter. In fact, you cannot see single clay particle. Clay feels smooth because of its small particle size. So this is clay and this is the microscopic observation at 1000 magnification. This type of soil is used for making a large number of earthen articles like this one, a Rajasthani magician made up of clay. This is also used for making of these clay pots of different designs, styles. So this is clay. Second type of soil is silt. Silt has particle size larger than clay, and its diameter, it ranges between 0.002 millimeter to 0.2 millimeter. Therefore, it is not smooth because particle size is big, so it's not smooth to, we can feel it's not smooth. And it can be found, for example, in the riverbeds. The soil which is present on the river banks is silt. Third type of soil is sand. And when you hear this word sand, you visualize sand dunes of Rajasthan and camel walking on that. Yes, it is that sand. Sand, its particle size is large. It is greater than 0.2 millimeter. It can be from 0.2 millimeter to 2.00 millimeter. And because the particle size is large, so it is coarse to touch. अगर आप उसको feel करेंगे, तो आपको ये feel होगा कि it's rough. Children, I too have sand to show you. So this is sand. You can see the individual particle is also visible. This was about 3 types of soil: clay, silt and sand. What viewers, in addition to these, soil has small stones called gravels. Can you see these? They are visible in this class. These are gravels. Children, the soil in a particular area may contain only one kind of rock particles or a mixture of 2 or 3 types. Now you also have idea about their size. Smallest soil particle is of clay, slightly bigger is of silt, bigger than silt is the soil particle of sand, and the larger one is gravel. Now we are through with the characteristic features of 3 types of soils. Let's study about the same with the help of a comparative account. Comparison of types of soil. First, clay has the smallest size of particles. Silt has particle larger than clay, and sand has largest sized particles among these 3 types of soils. Now coming to the diameter. In clay, particle diameter is less than 0.002 millimeter. In case of silt, particle diameter size ranges between 0.2 millimeter to 0.002 millimeter. And in sand, particle diameter is greater than 0.2 millimeter. Third point of comparison between these 3 types of soil is texture. Clay, it's very smooth because it has smallest particle size. Silt, it is not smooth to touch. Sand are rough or coarse to touch. Now coming to the water holding capacity. Water holding capacity of clay is high. Water holding capacity of silt is average, and water holding capacity of sand is very low. So this is the comparative account of 3 different type of soils. Next segment is an activity time. In that we are going to learn little more about these types of soil with the help of experimental investigations. First experimental investigation is to find out the different solid components in garden soil. Steps. First step, take a clean straight sided jam jar or any other jar which has a wide mouth and fill it about a third with the soil you are experimenting with. In this experiment, I have taken this glass jar and this lid and I filled it 1/3 with soil sample from my garden. Then we have to add clear water until the jar of the soil is almost full. Then we have to close the lid and shake the jar well. Fourth step is leave the jar for 5 to 6 hours so that the content settle down and the water can start to clear. So after 6 hours, you have to note the observation. You will find this kind of observation. Topmost layer in your jar will be of dead decaying organic matter which is literally floating. This is called humus. Below the humus, you will have water, clear water. In my case, it's still muddy. If you will leave the experimental setup for 12 hours, you will get this kind of picture. Third layer will be of clay, the fine particles of soil. Thereafter, mud. This mud is silt basically. Below silt, there is sand. Beneath sand, there will be small stones which are called as grables. So this was my observation when I carried out this activity to know about the solid components in a sample of my garden soil. I suggest you to go ahead with this activity and find out the solid components of your garden soil. Next and equally interesting activity is activity 2, experimental investigation. Here our aim is to study the texture of different types of soil with the help of 3 tests: field test, ball test and ribbon test. In this activity, we are provided with 3 types of soil samples. One is clay, sand and silt. We have to perform 3 tests on these soils and we have to find out which one is sand, which one is silt and which one is clay. Field test: sandy soil, sand, it is gritty, it is rough. Silt, it will be smooth and clay soil will be sticky, extremely smooth. So this is about field test. Next is ball test. हमें उसी मिट्टी का बॉल बना के देखना है. अगर वो सैंड होगी, द बॉल ब्रेक्स विद स्लाइट प्रेशर एंड हैज अ कोर्स टेक्सचर. सिल्टी सॉइल का जब हम बॉल बनाएंगे, द बॉल स्टेज टुगेदर बट चेंजेस द शेप इजीली. And if it's a clay soil, the ball does not break easily. Next test is ribbon test. अब उसी सॉइल से हम एक लंबा रिबन जैसा बनाना शुरू करेंगे. So with sandy soil, we won't be able to make a ribbon. Silty soil can make a short ribbon between 1 to 2 inches long. And if it's a clay soil, we can make a long ribbon greater than 2 inches long. So on the basis of field test, ball test and ribbon test, we can clearly differentiate between types of soil. So this was all about activity 2. In this activity, I use the word sandy, silty, clay. So let's know about these. Sandy soil. Sandy soil has lot of sand in it and very little of silt and clay. Like deserts of Rajasthan, they have sand and only sand. Sandy soil can hold air but cannot hold much water as water drains quickly through the large spaces between the sand particles. Sandy soil feels gritty and it's loose. It does not form a ball. Now let's know about clay soil also. What is clay soil? So children, this is clay soil. Clay soil. The composition of clay is more in clay soil. The particles of clay soil, they stick to each other because they are very small, they are tightly packed and water drains through this kind of soil very slowly. Now this type of soil, it is not able to trap enough of air for the roots of plants. Clay soil is smooth and sticky. It forms ribbon when pressed between fingers. That is why it is the most suitable for making pots and statues. Now the question is, which type of soil is best suited for growing of crops? You must be wondering this. We have that type of soil too, and it's loam soil. Loam is the best soil for growing plants. Loam is a mixture of sand, silt and clay, and it also has humus. It has right kind of water holding capacity for the growth of plants. Loamy soil also have adequate space between the soil particles to trap air which is required for the roots of the plant to breathe. Loam soil is smooth but partially gritty and sticky. It forms a ball that crumbles easily. So these are the characteristic features of loam soil which is best suited for growing plants. So with this, we are through with the content of this video. Now it's time to recap. In this video, you came to know about the basic classification of soil. Together, we explored about the characteristic features of three types of soils, which are clay, silt, and sand. In addition to this, two experimental activities enabled us to know more about these three types of soils. And lastly, you learnt about one term loam, L-O-A-M, which contains the perfect balance of these three types of soils in addition to humus for growing our plants. So that's it for this video, but now it's time to share some important questions which are frequently asked in your half-yearly examination. So I suggest you to go through these three questions. One gentle reminder that let's together save soil, conserve soil, and avoid its wastage, because healthy soils are full of life. So with this, we are through with this chapter. Next time, whenever you will tune into my YouTube channel BioHub, I'm going to upload video on chapter number 10, Respiration in Organism, and in that I'm going to cover its first part, meaning and importance of respiration for living organisms. So please do join me there also. Now it's time to wind up this video. I want to sincerely thank my viewers for subscribing to my channel and watching BioHub videos. If you are a new viewer, and if you are finding the content of these videos worth understanding and clearing your doubts, please do subscribe to it. It will help me to update you regarding my next videos. And those who are watching my BioHub videos frequently, if you're liking the content, give me a thumbs up. Please do share the link of my channel with your fellow friends. With this, I'm going to sign out. It's a bye from your facilitator, Dr. Seema Sharma. Stay tuned and keep exploring about biology with me. Do take good care of yourself. Bye.